following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. It is a January 22nd on the day of the ECB, and I have to say I'm puzzled. It is ponderous, do I say, that we've got a lot of divergence in the market, and I imagine eventually it's going to make sense. But as Mr. Keene said, pretty succinctly, markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. So, what else can you say? And anyway, other things of interest, that is this move in the market, up 16 points on the S&P cash, 2.46 billion shares. A lot of that volume, almost all of it was, well, I wouldn't say all of it, but a huge amount of it was an early spike down after a gap up in the market. They've been pushing it rather hard most of the day. The market seems to find a level and then sell off and sell into it. I've been adding to my put positions today. My ETFs, not looking that good, not changing that much, but we'll keep an eye on it. I'm kind of at the far end of probably the first position. The rest of the positions I like. But what can you say? You win a few, you lose a few. But I digress. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff going on here. Just trying to get to the heart of the matter, which is, of course, this dollar index up $1.19 at 94.09. I thought that we were going to 98 the way that the charts looked and the way that it was trading and moving. And certainly looks like we've had a big move here, $1.20. Again, kind of like the Super Bowl happening every week now. It's these moves in dollars and Forex are monstrous. I would be very interested to see exactly what happens in some of these other, even higher than that. This is for real. Andy Hex IMing me, but I don't know what about. A little vague at the moment. We need to get a conclusion. Anyway, what else do we got going on? Anyway, the markets tend to base out. All the volume disappears. They run it on light volume. It pops up a couple points. We've been up and down in about an 8-point range. Oh, he's talking about the dollar, I guess. But, what else can you say? If you want to call me, you can at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com, or you can put a message in the den. But, we've got a lot of moving parts out here. I'm adding to short positions, and I'm pretty much to the point where a little higher, and I'll decide that it's probably the best thing to back out. Now, the question is, why would the market go higher on a screaming dollar when I'd say 80% of earnings are missing now? They're blaming that, of course, on move on the dollar and other things. So if companies are going to go broke, why would the indexes go higher? And you can go higher for a little while. My guess is that the powers that be are not done distributing stocks. And as long as the index goes down, people always have hope. And I think that's what they're pushing out here, is a bit of hope that these things won't come to pass. But I'm looking at some of my positions from the Tech Insider. They certainly look good as far as the individual stock positions, kind of banging away at the lows or not moving at all. See some of the other EFTs that really can't get anything going. And like I said, a little bit of adding here today. if we go much higher, then maybe the Fed's going to lower interest rates. Could that be? I don't think so with the dollar moving. The dollar is telling us that it's not moving that. Maybe because gold's going higher. Maybe that tells us something that's going on there. Either way, we've got a lot of pieces that are going to break, and they're going to break hard in this market. But the question is which way. We're going to go to Max in Houston. How you doing, Max? I don't know what happened to Max. I guess he exploded. But people explode every day, so that's not exciting. Anyway, we can take a look at what's going on out here, 2049 on the S&P cash, 2.5 billion shares. Again, it's all about the close out here, and it looks to me like at least a lot of people would love to hold this market up for a while and maybe exit out the stage left. But we'll have to see how this day concludes. But pretty close to the wall on whether or not the market goes higher here. We should be able to have pretty much maximum resistance at these levels. And, we needed probably about 3.7 billion shares by the end of the day to get this up and hold it. That we've got about 2.5 tells me that we'd probably come in at about 3.3 billion shares. The question is, earnings just continue to come in rather poor. But I digress. We're going to get going here in just a minute. Oh, we got Max back now. How you doing today, Max?
And I'm doing all right. I'm in. There's a lot of rain here and a really bad thunderstorm, so that's why I got disconnected. But I have a question on Philip Morris, and and I keep remembering what you say: to sell when you can, not when you have to.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought it when it was like, I only have like 120 shares or so, and I bought it when it was like $37, $38.
Mm-hmm.
Is it done? Because it seems like, it just, and I can't really figure out if there's an ABC pattern in there or what, but, I'm happy it's moving out.
It's a little bit of complex ABC pattern. What you have in the charts anyway is this thing came back, tried to break above the high on December 19th, did so with volume, right? So
Yeah.
that $51.67 was going to get retested. It came back down to $48.52. It went through the previous low of December 16th that had 8.6 million shares with 6.9 million shares, so you're still good. It came up. Now, the one thing that I would say that is problematic is that you wanted to see more than 10 million shares on the 16th when it went through that $51 area, or the day before, which had 8 million shares. The next day had 10 million shares. And then you had 6 million shares, 5 million shares, 3 million shares. What's that telling you is most likely this is probably going to come back to that $51.67 area over the next week or so, 2 weeks maybe. But if you had a trade here, what was your original plan?
Well, I like it for the dividends and everything, and I have time because I'm still in my 50s. But and when I saw it drop, I figured, okay, well, I think it's a good company. I can make money out of it. I thought it was oversold, and I mean, I'm happy. I have a very nice profit, so I'm willing to unload. But I didn't want to leave a bunch of money on the table, type of thing.
Did you have any target where you were going to sell it when you got into
probably around 50 or 52? So it's already met it.
So should I be playing some sound effects of a little piggy sound?
Well, yeah, no. This is why I'm calling you, because I think I'm being just maybe I should just follow your advice and sell when I can.
Well, that's part of it. But what I would say is, if you had your plan to sell at 50, and it didn't get more than about 10 million shares, which would be the most generous, but actually I'd be looking for the 16 million shares of December 19th. Since it broke through there without the 16 million shares, I would say that it's that I probably would have been taking my cash on that day, and you would have had a little bit more. But the thing to do is, if it breaks the highs without significantly increased volume, And
Yeah.
I'm going to say 10 million to 9.4 is not significantly increased. It's okay.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is this whole sector, which is everybody wants to crowd in to these safety stocks at the very end of a market.
Yeah.
So I would say that it is very problematic to come out here and say that, you know, that even if you could love the money that comes back to you, this thing for owning it, you know,
Yeah.
if it comes back $4, isn't that going to take out your next 2 years of premium? I mean, next 2
Yeah.
years. Yeah. So
No,
to me,
I understand.
I don't see anything out here. You've got a high out here with light volume.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I was looking at the chart, and it's just not.
Does it come back to 52? I'd say there's or 51 and a half. I think there's an 80% chance it does.
Yeah.
And there's probably a 50% chance that today's the high. So to me,
take the money and run.
yeah, there is a great deal of evidence out here that would say,
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it would say take the money and run. So I would do that if I were. But
Okay, well,
you know, it's a good trade. You got a little extra juice on it that I probably wouldn't have gotten if I trade it. Sometimes just letting it come out there. But yeah, my guess is that one day it's just going to open it up, and you're going to be back down about 53. So then it's probably going to fool around, go sideways, and slowly move down. It did break out, and it is one of the stronger stocks. And if the market does reverse and turn tail here, probably not a bad stock to be in. But I can't see why you wouldn't want to just try to buy it back at about $48.52.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for your advice again. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Okay. What else do we have going on here? Oh, we were getting ready to talk a little bit about a day in history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1973, after leaving the White House, LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, returned to his beloved home in the state of Texas with his wife, Lady Bird, and immersed himself in the activity dearest to him, ranching. And interestingly enough, you'll see his biographer over TV quite a lot, Doris Kearns Goodwin. And kind of interesting because I wouldn't say she's an impartial biographer. And it is kind of, I don't know if I should get into it. She was the, at least highly rumored to be the first Monica Lewinsky of the White House. And she came back and spent a year or two on the ranch doing this biography. Not really impartial if you ever read that biography. But more than a little smoke around that fire.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Check out the new look of Tiger TV. Now you can see all hosts, charts, and computer screens live in high definition. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV. Now, crystal clear in high definition, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't seen the new look of Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And if we come back, had a email here, and that email is from Dave in Oklahoma. He wants to take a look at FRO, which is Frontline. Frontline is a engaged in the ownership and operation of oil tankers and bulk ore carriers and oil. Provides seaborne transportation of crude oil and products as well as raw materials such as coal and iron. And this thing had a nice spike. It did it with energy, and it's coming back down to these lower levels. And the question is, I guess, where should I buy it? Will it come back to $2? And you'd have to say, with the way that the market is moving, it would be interesting. And let's see what we have here. But anyway, what do you have? The $2. Well, I think you probably have a pretty good setup here if you could buy it for $2.50. You've got a high volume high at $5, and you've got a decent gap out here at when this thing gapped up on the 6th of January. So yeah, you'd probably want to be. There's a kind of a double gap that's still available. I'm going to try to zoom in on it here so maybe you can see it. But there's a double gap. The first gap occurred from the December 15th or 16th gap down. and that never has been filled. That's probably going to be, hopefully you can see it real well on Tiger TV, but that's about 280. If the volume is extremely low, zoom back in here, the volume is very low back in that shaded area there, which is about 280. You might have something. You've got nice volume today. I would want to see one more tick down into this gap area that remains unfilled, though, and have volume remain light. And by light, I mean that day had 10.8 million shares, so gets in there with 6-7 million shares, you're probably golden. Then you don't want to have this thing go any lower than 250. So not a bad risk reward. You got probably about a 30% downside to this, and $5 takes you up to $2 versus a 30-cent loss. Pretty decent risk reward. The problem is just how much crude is going to be moving at the reduced price point. And so you got to watch that very carefully, and what people are willing to spend to ship reduced price crude. My guess is that this will probably come down in this area and go sideways for a while. You probably won't have an instant bounce off this. And that's some of these places, especially out there in the tar sands areas, that are still getting some of the crude to market and pushing it out the door, trying to get it before the price absolutely drops to the floor. You're going to have kind of a little bit of maybe 15, 30-day range out here where shipping crude probably is a little tough, and then it's going to get probably a lot better than it is. But yeah, I digress. What else do we have going on out here? Well, let's get to some of the stocks that are moving, and we can look at those. Of course, for the most part, if you avoid looking at the airlines, most of the other stocks are doing rather poorly. We're going to go take a look at Xilinx, SNXL, NX, and what do we have here? We're down here. We're already higher volume. It's not holding those lows, but you had a low with a 12 million shares from October 13th. Got 13 million shares already today, and you got a little bounce out of here, but my guess is you haven't cracked $36.24, got to $37.20. So my guess is this thing's going to work its way over the next few days down to test $36.24, and the volume needs to be less than that 12 million shares, or even the 7 million shares, but I'd probably look for less than 12 million shares. So you got into it today, you got into the candle, you got higher volume out here. One of the things that you do want to see and notice is Xilinx and Altera, which I think Altera is after the bell tonight. Both of these stocks are canaries in the coal mine. If you are short something like the SOX, probably not a bad thing at the moment. My guess is Altera will follow Xilinx lower. But when things start to tighten up, these stocks move the biggest and the fastest before the rest of the semiconductors. So this is not a good sign. We'll look at Altera when we come back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we've got the market starting to roll here. 23 points on the S&P cash and 2.7 billion shares. So we're moving. No volume here in the last 30 minutes or so. But we'll keep an eye on it and see. But looks to me like, we've got a very interesting move out here without a lot of juice. But, we'll get into that just a little bit later. And what else do we have going on out here? Oh, we were talking about Xilinx and TR. And it kind of an issue in that these are almost always lead the semiconductors on the way down and the way up. I call them the canary in the coal mine because if you're going to be developing anything or you've got a sudden rush of stuff to get out, you're going to buy their more expensive programmable chips than build one yourself. This one's not as bad as the other, but I believe earnings are out after tonight. The question is going to be if they, like Xilinx, talk about reduced demand and problems with the dollar. And where are we at the dollar? 94.03 for the dollar right now. So that looks very interesting to me. But I digress. We're going to look at some other stocks. I have a few other ones I wanted to get to, too. Xilinx was one. If there's anything else. Oh, we were talking about SanDisk, SNDK. I want to get to that before I forget about it. SNDK. Now, they came out, they pre-announced and got hammered. Now, one of the things that probably the worst thing that you can do in the stock market to professional investors is not give them all the dope up front or give them a heads up. They've now done this twice, a surprise pre-announcement. If you pre-announce, you probably ought to throw everything in, including the kitchen sink. They did not. Last night they came out again and said, well, that wasn't all of it. Now, the problem with this is that you end up with kind of the roach theory, which is, well, I saw one. I know that there are a few more going to be out here. Now, normally what happens is they wash it out. They get a lot of people going. They'll come back and try to fill this gap, move the stock back up. Then they're going to get to really distributing this thing big time, and they will want to be out of it. So if you want a good short, not here at the moment, but almost, I'd say it happens 85% of the time. If the CEO doesn't leave, and this thing gets up to about $87, and you start seeing wide distribution, look for every big fish in this to get out and get out for good. There is one unpardonable sin other than not making your earnings, and that's not basically throwing in everything, letting people come in and buy it only to get smacked down yet again. So it is interesting. To see what else do we have going on out here? Okay, yeah. 2055 on the S&P cash. Very interesting, to say the least, out here in these. Trying to see if there's any kind of indication in the NASDAQ out here. Not really, at least not in the tech stocks. So we'll look at that a little bit. Gold kind of playing around, at least GLD is at this 125 level. And we're holding $94 on the dollar index. So I think that's pretty much all we need to know at the moment. We'll check back in here at the end of the show and see if anything majorly has happened. What else? Yeah. AMAG Pharmaceuticals. This thing's up here at the top, fairly light volume. We haven't seen a lot of action in the IBB for such a huge move in the markets today. It did pop down and kind of washed everybody out. Not really 318, 319. Not really doing a whole lot out here. A lot of those stocks, I think, have run just about as far as they have. And hang on just a second. I need to turn my IM off. Someone keeps bugging me. And anyway, what else do we have going on out here? Anyway, testing the January 7th high, $47.75. We broke through that yesterday with less than half the volume. Now, this is kind of hanging up here, but very, very light volume. So this is one you want to be watching, especially how it closes out here today. And what else do we have? Crombie and Fitch had some pretty ugly news out from some of the other retailers, Land's End today. But some of these things that have been rather brutalized, like Crombie and Fitch, didn't have volume yesterday when they did break the lows. The September 8th low, $26.19, and 4.1 million shares, 2.3 million shares. And that was 2 days ago. As it dipped below that low, it's solidly above it. So not one that I'm going to say I love, but wouldn't be surprised to see this come back up and try to tag and get back into the huge gap that starts at about $31 in the near future. Con is another one of these that has just been brutalized and hammered down, and actually a three-gap play. So this is kind of interesting to me, although I kind of hate their business. Not looking too bad. It needs to come down and test $14.02. That's the December 16th low that had 2.6 million shares. You're into it today with 630,000 shares. So may not be bad, but you need this thing to test $14.02. So that is one that we need to see. What else do we have? I have well, CT Media. I don't know a whole lot about that one. Dragon Wave. This is kind of an interesting penny stock, and that this one really can't get any energy to the downside. Kind of interesting to me if you're interested in penny stocks. The October 15th low at 89 cents with 820,000 shares. Tried to, and did break it on November 20th with 1.1 million shares. But as we get into it in the last 3 days, 200,000 shares, 249,000 shares today, 94,000 shares already. So some of these stocks look like they're actually not looking that bad. Foot Locker. This thing's kind of in a bigger trading range. What I dislike about this one is it did break the October 16th low with 2.9 million shares with 3.1 million shares. This is in the pattern that I was just talking about where it's going to come back. It looks like it's going to fill part of the gap. But my guess is if you're looking for some ABC downs, Foot Locker would not be a bad looking one. Great Plains Energy. Another one up here with very light volume, and on a day like this, should be finding volume and breaking through highs. The December 29th high, $29.46, 1.8 million shares. Yesterday, he had 1 million shares. Tried to break through it today and is looking like it's closing below it, 420,000 shares. Info Systems, which is a big Indian company that does a lot of phone assistance for things like what am I trying to think of? Technical support is another one out here hanging at these highs with fairly light volume. The December 1st high, $35.18, 3.9 million shares. We've got 1.6 million shares today, and I think that's telling you quite a lot about what's going on here. But it is what it is. Energy was not that bad, had a huge gap up. I think what this is actually telling us is this needs to come back to its gap, which is about $32.50. That happened with a volume on the 9th. And just looks like it's at the upper end of that gap. Probably just needs to kind of pull back and come in. Another company that's banging out some lows out here that doesn't look all that bad is Owens, Illinois, OI. This thing had a huge volume day on October 30th with 6.2 million shares to the downside. That came at $23.31. You went through it a couple days ago, lighter volume, 1.7 million shares. Got a nice little bounce out of here. My guess is you're probably going to get one more opportunity down here. I don't like the energy that came out in the last leg down, but can't really argue with the light volume test of that October 30th low. Other things out here are the January 22nd high, which is today in Penn National Gaming. I was looking at this morning. Very interesting. But for the most part, this thing's just banging away underneath the split adjustment. But not a lot of volume out here, and hard for me to get real enthused about gaming, especially these guys make machines for not online, but offline, real gambling, and pretty light volume test. You had November 18th at $15.50, 6.2 million shares, got into it with 2.4 million shares, and even lighter today. And we look at this, yesterday had that 2.4, but today 1.3 million shares. So quite a few stocks out here that are interesting to say the least. PowerShares India portfolio, we were talking about that Infosys just a minute ago. This one's a little bit of a different story out here. I had some decent volume yesterday, 1.8 million shares going up against an 800,000 share high. But as it broke it today, basically 700,000 shares. So not quite the volume that it needs today, but India looks a little bit better. Maybe it's because that dollar exchange rate making it feel just a little bit better out here. What else do we have out here? Pretty low volume test in this Rex Nord Corporation RNX. The last major low on this was October 15th, $24.89. Got into it with $24.48, 1 million shares. So it is what it is. So light volume, a little bit of bounce out of here. No energy though, and that is a great deal of these stocks that should be coming off of the bottom was the volume. After testing these lows, normally you get a lot of volume coming in, and pretty light, 300,000 shares so far today, and sometimes it comes in a little bit later. We were talking about some of these stocks that just seem to be kind of going sideways and building a base. So, and maybe we are close to getting a move in the indexes from, of course, crude and all that. This has not tested the low of October 15th at $45.91, 7.9 million shares. October 20th, $46.45, 2.9 million shares. And just kind of going sideways out there. So some of these have been beat up. They're going to take a little while to get going. Some of these things are bouncing right off the get-go. Unum Corporation, UNM, is another one of these out here that you might want to take a look at. $31.25 is the October 15th low, 2.5 million shares, 1.6 million shares, which busted it yesterday on lighter volume. Today, though, just 1 million shares. So no real follow-through, which is another thing on these lower stocks that bothers me just a little bit out here. What else do we have going on? Vico Instruments. This thing's a big trader. And it seems to have a lot of movement. 3 dojis in a row. So I'd be watching this thing. I wouldn't buy it yet. Boy, if it starts looking like it's ready to move, I would hop on it. October 13th, $30.54. Just about 1 million shares. Kind of tried to come back into it with 1.2 million shares on the 29th of October. Got into it with 330,000 shares on the 16th. And we've had 3 very light volume dojis out here. So keep eye on Vico. Let's take a look at the earnings date. And February 17th, so earnings is coming up. I don't know a lot, but I'm going to check this out. Another one that's kind of piqued my curiosity out here has been Workday. This one has not tested its low yet, but certainly looks like it. I've loved the company. I love the business model that they work in. They're kind of like a accounting firm, but you do it all online, and they make sure the software's all there, and it's all in the cloud, and you do the work, which is a little different. A lot of times when you do payroll work like these guys do, you send all the data, and they do it all for you. Basically, what they're supporting is all the software and all the regulatory filings and everything you do. They create the software and maintain the cloud. All you have to do is pay them for their service, which is kind of interesting. But doesn't look too bad out here. This had a low of October 15th at 2.3 million shares. Got into it on the 16th with 1.3 million shares. A little bit of volume, 1.5 million shares yesterday. But again, a little worrisome that in a market like today that is trying to run 635,000 shares. So not everything is gold-plated today. We'll be back in a minute.
How would you feel if you had a powerful decision-making tool that has the ability to find high-probability trading opportunities across multiple time frames in equities, currencies, and futures? Search no more. Take advantage of the best trade with the TAS Profile Scanner. Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to help them make the best and most accurate decisions. Scan over 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments for high-probability trading setups utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time, for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. Subscribers will also gain access to the December 9th workshop with John Logan. There's no obligation to pay anything. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we come back. We were looking at work today, and still needs to test the 75.23. Don't know if you're going to get a chance at here, but not a bad looking chart. I like the retracement. I dislike the high volume down day on the 25th of November with 6.3 million shares when this thing gapped down. So you're going to have resistance on the way back up. But I like the company. I may not like the stock as much as I like the company. Some of these stocks hanging out here at highs without a lot of volume. VCA, which symbol is a wolf, interesting to me, and that is just a 50% test of the highs. You saw the December 4th high at $50.14. Went through it on the 13th with 560,000 shares. But it's just kind of going sideways. I think we've got earnings on this in just a couple of days, but it's interesting. Another one in the commodity sector that is interesting to me is Horsehead Holding Zinc, and this is a zinc mining operation. This thing had a huge volume day down on October 2nd. $13.88, 3.6 million shares. Yesterday, we had 1 million shares, and today, 900,000 shares. Now, you need to close back above $13.88 to really get into this, but not a bad-looking bad-looking chart if this thing would close above that and volume remains very low. I'm not exactly sure about the industry about zinc and copper, although Andy Heck says he's going to write an article about it. So I'll look forward to that. think he comes on at 5 o'clock. We may even talk about it a little bit. But it is interesting. But it is, you need basically a pop back up there. And it's stocks like this that make me very dubious of the move we're having in the indexes today. I would have liked to seen wide participation instead of very narrow participation. And the leaders, let's say like the IBB, not making new highs out here or anything like that, with a lot of juice behind them. In fact, the IBB's up about 1 point today. So, well, we'll probably have a lot, but I think volatility is here to stay, and we will be keeping an eye on this as we go forward. See if there's anything else I wanted to talk about before the end of the day. FFIV we didn't get to. Another one of these networking stocks that got rather hammered today. It looks like it's going to go after the 106.92 low from October 13th. Just 2.7 million shares. We got 7.8 million shares. So look for this thing to at least come back down here and break the 106.82 over the next few days. And if you break that, let's see what else is out here. The biggest problem is there's a nice gap at 100. So you probably, I'm figuring there's probably an 80% chance that at least you hit this gap on at 100 before this thing makes any meaningful move back up. Actually, not a bad 3 gap plays below that. So you could see this thing going all the way back to 72. F5 Networks, kind of neat company, but just going to get slaughtered with $1. And this is what's so problematic about a move in the indexes today, that I can't figure out how companies that are going to warn for the next 6 months, that are going to get beaten up because of the exchange rate, is something that you want to buy. But maybe the market just doesn't tell me everything. But maybe we'll hear some other opinions in the next 2 hours with Tom O'Brien and then Andy Heck after that. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.